Happy Saturday, everybody, and welcome to Woodbine Racing Live. My name is Elisa Blow, joined as always by Tbred as we get set for a big weekend of horse racing action here in Toronto. It is the Fall Turf Showcase, and otherwise known as the Canadian International Day. This is probably the first time in a long time that we've had glorious weather for the International. I mean, the trivia question is, who won it back in 2024?
I don't answer that question.
What is
Nobody.
that? Nobody. But the horse that won it in 2023 is here. So we didn't run the race last year, but historically, it always feels like we're freezing on International Day.
You're right about that. In fact, the last time Nation's Pride won this race, it was a chillier day as well. And obviously, it's on the bigger course. Now it's going to be on the tighter course too. But you know, it's such an odd feeling day here because of the fact that, as you said, the weather for the International, but even the Jays in the playoffs, they rarely have the dome open.
Right.
And now it's like with Major League Baseball, you have to get approval to open the dome and the playoffs and stuff like that. But it's so glorious today they've done that. And I don't know about you, but as a youngster, I always found this day a little bit intimidating when I was just starting to get to know the game a little bit, because you have riders that you don't know that well, trainers that you don't know that well, horses as well. So we're going to try and tell you a lot of the storylines behind some of these equine and human athletes that we're going to have going into the starting gates a little bit later on today.
Well, it's a beautiful blue sky. Great day for the dome to be opened up. And so we will say good luck to our Toronto Blue Jays who will play later on today. And of course, good luck to all of our participants on this afternoon's program. We have the Grade 2 Nearctic, which will kick things off in race number 5. Race 8 is the Dance Smartly. And of course, race 9 will be the Canadian International. There are 11 races in store for you today. But before we look at today, let's look at what happened yesterday. It started off fairly formful. You know, we had favorites winning the first and second race on the program, and then things got a little wacky. Magic slips for Ryan Munger and Matt Douglas, returning over $30 to win. You know, that was I think one of our biggest priced winners on the program. Enchant Me was a bit of a surprise on the card yesterday for Austin Adams, who right now is riding so good. He's riding well. Ryan Munger is riding well. Ryan, by the way, had 2 winners on the program yesterday. Same with Austin. And Saheen ended up winning the late double.
Yeah, and Drexler won the late double as well with King Elvis and Military Force as well. You know, for a small sample size of races, 7, for people to double up, that many people to double up, that's a little bit surprising. And I guess the star of the card was Bruno Schickenance. He won 3 races on the program overall as well. I did laugh a little bit in the last race. Bruno had 3 horses, and they were all dueling on the front end. I'm like, holy smokes. If you're Bruno, you're like, this is not the way I planned this out.
No, it isn't. And unfortunately, they didn't end up getting the win there in that race either. But yeah, so 2 furs for a lot of people on yesterday's program. This morning, as far as training was concerned, it was a glorious morning for training, and it's going to be the same tomorrow as well. You got to really enjoy this great weather while you can. And our clocker, Ernie Perry, was busy. He actually rated the track a 4. Now, what's interesting is that he started off rating it as a 3, and then that's obviously before the break while it was a little cool. And then once the sun came out, he rated it a 4.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Piper's Gift as well. It's a really promising horse for Conditioner Dale DeRousseau as well. And the best wagering race of the day is going to be race number 10, according to Ernie. I think we could just put for favorable position, just don't change that. The inside's always good.
It always is good.
And it's gotten so good this year. So many horses just stay on that fence and sneak up and be able to have some success along the way. But we want to thank Ernie for those horses to keep an eye on each and every day. And we're going to have some clocker information for horses to keep an eye on a little bit later on in the program today specifically as well.
So 11 races in store for you this afternoon, and we are going to get started with the topics for the afternoon. We have 7 topics that we will discuss. We'll start first in race number 3 on the program. Now, it's a battle of plays of the day in the 3rd race, which is a small field. 6 horses to compete here. It's a maiden special weight, this race for the 2-year-old fillies, and they're going to go 2 turns. We haven't had a ton of 2-turn races this season for the youngsters, so this is a great opportunity. 1 mile and a 16th the distance on the main track, and I was hoping we'd get a golden egg from Golden Goose here in this spot, who was second last start out.
The only concern I have with your Golden Goose is they dropped him for 40 last time. Now, I don't think this is all that tough of a main special weight race, which I think is a little bit encouraging, and she is bred to go around 2 turns. This mare is from the same family as horse like Dance Again and Swoop and Strike, and really ran a lot better last time up to finish in the 2nd place position. So that's going to be your top pick in this race. Doug's going towards Bold Time. Now, Bold Time, she ran against the boys first time out. She's a beautiful horse, and I love this family. The mare won the Princess Elizabeth. It was second in the Oaks. But first time out, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. I am going to pick her because I do think she's bred to be a route horse in here. I think this is a very important race, though, for her because we've got to establish kind of where she fits in the mix of things. Can she be effective going around 2 turns? The one that I didn't know what to do with is Classic Discovery. I don't know how good she is. I'm still trying to figure that out a little bit. Do you have a definitive opinion as to how good she is?
You know what? I use her for third. The horse that I'm not sure about that I wanted to toss in is Golden Harvest for Catherine Day Phillips. I mean, the barn has been much liver in the last month or so. This is a first-time starter that they pay good money for, $140,000. But I always like to look up what the mare's produced, and she's sent 3 to the races, and all 3 of them are winners. I love that when we see that. So this one's looking to keep that that thing going. This is actually a half to a horse by the name of Naptown, who's made about $225,000.
And the mare's a half to Southdale, who was a beautiful horse that Ian Black had. And contrary to Mary, she finally gets to do what she wants to do today, which is go around 2 turns. She's so big, but she's had so many issues to this portion of her career.
Yeah, so race number 3, a maiden special weight, traveling a mile and a 16th with just that small field of 6 here in this race. So we will bank our time because we have so much to talk about today. As we move over to our next topic, which comes up in race number 5, the first of 3 stakes events. It is the Grade 2 Nearctic. A quick 5/8 of a mile on the inner turf course, and we have a group of 7 who will compete today. Bring the band home looks to keep things going. This horse has won some nice stake races at Saratoga, including the Grade 2 Troy at 5.5 furlongs. I think no matter which way you look at it, this horse is an absolute standout on paper.
Yeah, not just winning those races, but like very flashy, dominant type efforts. And they're going to use this as a stepping stone towards the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. And I actually picked the horse last season in the Arctic and didn't run all that well. Finished 8th and against Patches of Houlihan on that particular occasion.
Then.
And then this horse was put onto the sidelines. But I think, you know, the comments that Mark Casse had, I'm not sure if it was with Ron or if it was with one of our media outlets that we have on our website here. It just seems like Castellano has the trick to this guy. And Castellano does come up to ride, which is terrific. You're going to be a low price, obviously. And, you know, listen, you've got like Western World is going to be a speed type. It's time to shine. They're up against a little bit in here, but it's in your backyard. You've got No Balls in here, who is a former Breeders' Cup winner. Has he lost a step? Maybe. You know, he is now 6 years of age, but he's made $1.8 million. There's a look at No Balls right there, and Rafael Hernandez will guide that one. And probably the biggest question mark in the race is the Striking Viking, because you look at this one, we had a chance to catch up with Maddie Plale yesterday from the Racing Post, and she was mentioning that he does have some quirks, and he's a very fine-looking horse, and he gets very hot, and we'll show you exactly what we mean when we take a look at his replay from back on August the 31st. And here he is right now. You can tell he's got that sweat all over his chest with the red cap in here. And one thing, though, I will say is he's a determined son of a gun, because he worked for this and he got it. And so this was a race in Germany. And the big thing, too, Elisa, this was over a yielding course.
Yes.
That's going to be a lot firmer here today.
Big, long stretch, too, with this race as well, eh, Jeff? And swooping turns. So how's this horse going to handle that hairpin turn?
And look where they are. They're on the outside rail as opposed to the inside rail.
I wonder how you do that. How you today tell him you got to stick to that fence.
But look how game he is. Like, he is under a hard drive. He's just like, I'm not letting you pass me. I'm not letting. And look at how close the fans are, too.
I know.
Which is amazing. So that's kind of a cool thing to see as well.
But he's awfully sweaty, and it is a warm day today. And, you know, I guess he's going to have to handle some new surroundings, which could kind of stress him out, too. So we'll just have to see what he looks like. But I guess, you know,
that's
we don't get turned
right
off
there,
when we see him like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's just him. But how much of a plus is it that his regular rider is aboard today?
Really good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because something tells me he's quirky, not just what you heard yesterday.
Yeah.
Just taking a look at him in that replay as well. Now, he does get onto the LASIX program here today. You have to keep your eye on that, because a lot of the Europeans come over here, they get on the LASIX program, and things kind of change for them. But Bring the Band Home is the top selection from a lot of us here today, with the exception of Doug McPherson, who's gone towards Nonay Hudson. This is the Wesley Ward runner that comes out of a Grade 3 stake down at Del Mar. So this one's shipped up from California. And Ron is going to light the lamp, the local horse.
I think he is a cool wild card horse today, and I think his draw is absolutely fantastic, because I think he loves being on the fence, this horse. Now, whether he's good enough to win it, I don't know, but he's coming off a monster race last time out, but I think it's absolutely picture perfect draw for that one. I was going to ask you, of the locals, do you think he's the liveliest?
He's probably the
in here?
strongest of the
I
local
would think so,
horses.
too.
You know, I mean, this is a tough spot for its time to shine.
Yeah.
Western World can't knock the barn, but I mean, the horses hasn't really competed against graded stakes company.
You know what's turning his career around is being gelded.
Yeah.
They gelded him at the start of the year, and look, he's just been a lot more thorough, a lot more focused about things as well. But yeah, the race clearly does go through the 5, that being Bring the Band Home. And watch this, like, we're not talking enough about no balls, and he's going to come up and win the race.
I still have some hope in him today. In fact, I used him for the second place spot just because, you know, when he did come here and he won, it was the Kennedy Road, and I get it that it was on the main track, but he defeated one of the greatest horses that we've seen in recent years, that being Patches O'Houlihan, that nobody could get past. So you got to give him some credit for that, even though he might be getting a little bit older. But yeah, I think we'll bank the time again, Jeff, because we got lots more to talk about here as we move on to our next topic, which comes up in race number 7. Now, the 7th race is where we play the late pick 5, and this race is an optional 15 and a starter for 7. And, you know, you get a big group. There's 13 horses that are going to compete in this race. You get quite a bit of speed in here from horses like Voices from Above. In fact, let's see what this claim turns out to be for Phil Hall, because he took this horse when he was dropping and she won for fun. Odine Lady, she's a speed type of horse. We know what Candid Candace is. She's a nice type of closer, but she needs the trip. We don't want to see her very, very wide here today. I like Candid Candace off of the win last start out. Which way did you go? Because there's so many options.
Before we get to my pick in here, does the polish of Candid Candace come off a little bit because of what McGill did the other day?
Yeah, maybe. But still, I don't know. I still think we got Candid Candace the day we were supposed to get her. She should be a horse coming into the race with some confidence. But I think with the speed in this race, because you have speed from the 4, the 5, the Kikitsa is going to show speed, right? That it could set up, even Lois Len from the inside is going to show speed. It could set up really nicely.
Well, the thing about Lois Len is I think Vives gives this horse a massive vote of confidence, because don't you think, like, she's kind of Jamie Begg's go-to rider right now.
And she's getting off a galley head to go to Lois Len.
Yeah, so that's kind of a bit of an interesting thing here. I like the 10 Hard to Capture in here. You've got the horse second. You know, Hard to Capture lost to Lois Len last time out, but I just think you hit the nail on the head by the pace of this race. I just think they're going to be absolutely humming up front here. And I want to try and find somebody that I think can be stalking the pace a little bit. Now, I don't think Lois Len necessarily needs the front end. I think can stalk a little bit, and she's obviously really, really good right now. So I'm going to entertain that one. And I'm also going to give a bit of a shout out to Galley Head, because I realized that last time out she laid a bit of an egg, which is very uncharacteristic for her. But that was against the boys. And now we're facing the girls here today. So maybe we just give her the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, just draw a line through it. So I am finding more and more on this circuit, because races are not going, that we're seeing more and more fillies and mares taking on the boys.
Because I think Danny Hughes got one. Is that tomorrow on the program?
Yeah,
that horse that
race.
he had in Tampa, that was down
Grey
at
Princess.
Tampa. Grey Princess.
Yeah.
She's been able to defeat the boys. So she's back in, I think, against the boys on tomorrow's program as well. But you're right. Lots of speed in this race. The 2 horses that Jeff and I like, the Stalker, Hard to Capture, who can stalk or come from way off of it. And of course, Candid Candace, who comes in off of that nice win. So that is the 7th race, and that's where we kick off the late pick 5. Let's go to the 8th race, because this is one of the undercard stakes on the day today. The Grade 2 Dance Smartly, going 1 mile and a 16th on the inner turf course, and this race is for the girls, 3-year-olds and up. One thing we've learned is that Caitlin Her Greatness just wants to go 2 turns. She doesn't. We've talked to Kevin so many times about her, and we've learned, and he's learned, that she's just not a fan of the sweeping turns on the EP Taylor. She likes the inner turf course, and she also likes the main track here, and she was a lovely winner of the Ontario Matron, and she looked like her old self too.
I don't think Kevin's actually here today. I think he's flown down to New York. He's got a couple horses racing down in New York today. So yeah, he's
got the whole fam damly here to help out.
Yeah, that's right. So that helps with the situation. But let me ask you this about Caitlin Her Greatness. If you were Kevin Attard, I said, Kevin, surface and distance.
Yeah, what
is
best?
she best at?
Mile and a 16th main track.
Mile and 8th, maybe main track.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. I think she's probably better on the synthetic than she is on the turf. Now, having said that, this is kind of where she had her breakout party last season. Remember, she came back off the layoff on July the 6th, and she won on that day, and then ever since, she's never looked back, right? New pilot here today is Fraser Abley will take over. I am going to go towards Ready for Sherilyn here.
Me too.
There's no she feels pretties. There are no diamond rings in this race. There's a massive drop down in class for her. She's been a lovely, lovely horse throughout the years. And the thing that is just in the back of my mind that I think she'll be able to handle this course because she's never run on it, she broke her maiden on the Keeneland turf course, which it's tighter than the EP Taylor, and this is a bit of a tighter course, so I think she'll be okay when it comes to that.
I remember too, we've talked numerous times to Emma Wilson about, her being the whisperer of these offspring of Perfect Churl, because they're all a little quirky.
They are.
Right? But Castellanos had a chance to ride her now.
Yeah.
And, there's a couple things that stand out in my mind. Her quirkiness and the fact that Roger said after she won, was it the Canadian? No.
Yeah, the Canadian.
After she won the Canadian, he said to me in the interview, she's just getting better the older she's getting.
Yeah.
So, that's a real shot in the arm, I think, for her here. So I went with the 4. I did use the 6, of course, Caitlin, her greatness. She's a great hero of horse racing here. But after that, we start looking at some of these other ones. Like, what about Five Towns? Five Towns gets Pablo Morales. That is a rider change with this one. Had a chance to race over our surface here in the Matron. Finished 4th behind Caitlin, her greatness.
Yeah, not a bad run for sure. And I think she probably is better on turf than she is on the synthetic as well. And, she ran obviously in a pretty difficult race last time out, and absolutely no problem with Pablo picking up the mount with this one. She's been a lovely, lovely horse. And then it just seems like Miguel Clement, whether it was his father or Miguel, when they come here, they win races.
We gotta
and you
pay
look
attention
back
to them.
at the one in this is breath away and able to pull off the win last time out with a pretty nice kind of slingshot move down at Monmouth. And we'll take a look at that replay for you right now. We're in between horse this portion of the event, and 4 to 5 on the tote board without Lasix. Now we get on to Lasix, and this is a field that she should beat on this day, and she did. And I just wonder, that was her first win in quite a long time. If maybe for the first time in a while, she's got some confidence to her.
Possibly.
Because she had not won a race prior to that since August of last year. Now, here she comes now, and she kind of just is able to catapult here and get to the front. Now, the waters do get a lot deeper here today, but I love the draw for her. I love having post position number 1 for her here today as well, because I just find on this inside turf course, if you can save ground, it helps so much. Give me a bit of a wild card in here. Like, I see if Distant Winter on there. Yeah, I can see that.
Well, it's a horse who, again, comes in off of a nice win.
Yep.
And the horse has done really some good things since coming here from South Africa. And who rides the horse? Our South African rider in the room. Our favorite South African, who just happens to be riding extremely well yesterday. Like, I saw on social media last night, somebody had posted something saying, hey, this Munger guy, he can ride, send him south. Did you see that too?
You're not allowed to have him.
He's ours. But when he gets a chance to pick up these South African horses, chances are he knows them. I know he hasn't ridden this horse, but chances are he knows the connections. Yeah,
and knows the competition, the horseman facing down in South Africa as well. But listen, obviously with our pick being the 4, but even sentimentally, I'm cheering for the 4 because, Roger, it's just on the big days, it's always great to see Roger in the winner's circle.
It is, absolutely. So race number 8 is the Grade 2 Dance Smartly. The 9th race, of course, is our feature race for the day, the Grade 1 Canadian International. We will talk about the entire field right after this break.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
At Woodbine, the grasses grow side by side in a blanket spread so vast, so wide. An international race for the world to contend, a moment in history waiting to be penned. With thundering hooves, they come rolling abound. In nature's arms, victory is found.
Desmond Carter is bursting between between runners. What a ride!
October 4th is the Fall Turf Showcase. Watching on Sportsnet, you should embrace.
As mentioned, race number 9 is our on-track feature race for the day today, the Grade 1 Canadian International. We did not run the race last year, but we did run it, of course, in 2023. And the winner from 2023 is back, and that is Nation's Pride. Nation's Pride sent out by Charlie Appleby, and Billy Lucknane is in the house to ride this one here today. He's kind of an interesting story, Jeff, because, you know, we have Pietro Moran, our young apprentice, and they, as in the English, have Billy Lucknane. He is only 19 years old, already a champion apprentice from 2023 in England, hails from a horse racing family. First winner was for his dad. Kind of similar in a sense to our Pietro, whose dad is a rider here, but still, you know, it's all in the family. And, you know, I'm going to be interviewing him a little bit later on, but, you know, I was wondering too, you know, here you are, you're a young rider. You've come over to Canada to ride a race, never happened before, and you're getting onto a turf course that you've never been on, you know, and so how do you handle that? How do you do that? Because remember when William Buick rode here for Mile Day, and you interviewed him after he won the mile, I think he said to you, it took him a few races to figure out the inner turf course.
Right, and I think this is a very good rider, just watching him. But I would feel a little bit more comfortable if it was on the bigger turf course, just because it's, you know, the configuration of this course is so tight as opposed to what they have in Europe. And, you know, we had our special guest, Maddie Playall, on yesterday, and you know, I think she hit the nail on the head with Nation's Pride. She said, listen, I don't think he's as good as he used to be, but he still might be good enough to win this race. You know, he's had an amazing career. He's made a lot of money. But kind of the now horse in the field is Haunted Dream. And, you know, Haunted Dream's got some real character to him. And the fact that he's won here before, the fact that he's won on this course before.
Yeah, he's been here and trained for a few
days. The rider
days.
knows him now. Like there's all kinds of, you know, real positive angles to play with a horse like this. And, you know, obviously when you look at Haunted Dream's most recent race, he was able to have a bit of a ground-saving trip. And I just found this to be kind of a non-taxing race for this horse. Just very workmanlike. Did everything that Rafi asked in here, and you know, some of these horses are obviously going to be in this race, and now he's just going to eventually tip off the rail and become some of the real nice kick in here. And he beats Tosin Wish, who I thought ran terrific, and is a real up-and-comer. That's the 5 in here, and is going to eventually split horses. But, you know, just look at the stride and the amount of ground he's able to cover here.
It's a big horse.
And I love his ears, too. Like, just pinned back, he's a happy guy. And,
he's trying.
You know,
that's one thing.
Yeah, and he's just saying, come and get me. And he's just too tough. So, you know, I think you sort of have the now horse taking on the guy that's, you know, got some significant backlash. The reason why I went towards the outside horse is just because his best race ever came with Lasix. And he gets back on the Lasix here today. In terms of some of the others, you've got Tawny Port, who obviously, you know, is a very talented horse, but hasn't won for a long time, has made a pile of money. You know, I was doing a radio show hit with Bobby Newman, and he brought up a great point that you and I touched on yesterday. Really seemed to thrive at Kentucky Downs, but that's a bit of a quirky type of course, and can he transfer that form over to the tighter course that we have here at Woodbine today?
Yeah, I know. It's one of those question marks when you go to Kentucky Downs, like, how is a horse going to handle it? And this horse, I think it's either one thing. You love it or you hate it. This horse liked it. But Haunted Dreams, to me, you know, the fact that they thought, well, you know, we'll find a nice, easy grade 3 to give him a little, you know, prep as before the international, and he wins it that easily. Plus the fact that Rafi now knows him, and like you said, he's been on the turf course, he's handled the turns, he was in the 1 hole last time, he's back in the 1 hole this time. Like, it's all good stuff, and that's why I used him in the top spot. But Nation's Pride is where you're going, and I would imagine a lot of people will be looking at Nation's Pride today as well.
Applebee's going to get bet off the board. If you're on the horse, it's going to be a price. And I just felt it refreshing too that the conditioner Hassam Al-Jahani said, you know what, originally we were just going to come for the Singspiel, but we said, you know what, he obviously likes the course. Let's give it a go in the international and see what we've got, right?
Well, 750 Gs.
Who of the locals
That's
do you
a good question.
think? I think Rosscart and Dancing in Denial are kind of the two. Maybe My Boy Prince, because there's not a ton of pace in the
Well,
race.
and that's what Robert had brought up yesterday, which was actually kind of interesting. It's an interesting way of looking at it. Like, I think sometimes you look at My Boy Prince, and you go, well, geez,
That's a cool photo,
You know,
right?
came out of the mile, obviously, and ran a really game second. But who else is going to be going to the front end in this event? And like Robert pointed out yesterday, maybe he shakes loose and then he makes it hard for horses to reel him in.
Imagine if Pietro wins this race and they played on the same year. Like, wow.
Yeah, sovereigns are wrapped up, I think, at that stage in the game. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'll certainly be rooting for. And on the big days, we always find that Mark Cassidy will show up with some big ones. You know who's back that we haven't seen in a long time is Raptors.
Yes. And just one other point that Maddie, our guest yesterday, put up with Salawi was she does expect this horse to be very much forwardly placed as well.
Oh, really?
So that
Okay.
might be a bit of a pace presence.
Okay, so that could be another
So
speed
we'll
horse
see
here.
if that one. Yeah, what a cool field though, you know. And Danced and Dial. Man, I'd love to see him win a big one, but we'll see. Man, oh man, good race. And you know what? Nation's Pride does not get any favors when it comes to the post position. I'll tell you that much.
No, not at all. Not at all. So we will catch up with the rider, though, and find out, what his strategy is. I'm sure he got sent with some crib notes, too, on what he's supposed to do in the race as well as he pilots that one. So that is the ninth, the on-track feature for the day today as we go over to race number 10. Now we have 11 races, so the 10th race is where we kick off the late double. It's an optional 50, and it's a good little race. Don't go home, basically, after the International. Stick around at least to watch the 10th race. I think this Jayhawk could be the horse here because of how good Awesome Bourbon is. Awesome Bourbon has been fantastic. Like, this guy is the ATM machine for the Eddie Catrine barn. So just with that reference alone, he looks very good here.
I'm with you. I love Jayhawk today. You got that reference, and Niagara Skyline beat the horse, and that's obviously a really good horse. The race prior to that, Warcourts, was able to get the better of him, and that was off a long layoff. I think he's absolutely sitting on a beautiful race here today. I don't know what to do with this Kevin horse, Dave Vernon, who gets on the synthetic for the very first time. That's a bit of a question mark. Maps Breeze woke up with the barn change last time.
Yeah, we were kicking ourselves too because we had heard that Maps Breeze was training really well.
Yeah, and then your buddy's in the race, Fighter in the Wind.
I know.
I know. Yeah, so this is the owner. He only had one horse originally, Mike Edwards, this horse, but then he claimed the two-way crossing the day.
He did, the Roger Atfield horse, though. So now he's got two, and they just happen to both be really nice horses, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I don't know where we'll see two-way crossing next, unless it's a valedictory.
I thought like there was like a 5% chance maybe they would supplement it in the International. I realized it was a quick comeback.
Yeah.
But and it would be pricey. But I think you're probably bang on. That's what the eventual goal will be.
We'll get him there, and then next year he's a lovely horse for the grass again. But
Well, he'd be eligible for that Turf Endurance Series or Turf Distance Series next year.
Don't get that mixed up.
Turf Distance Series next year. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the 11th race, which is an optional 32. Now, this race will go 1 mile and a 16th on the inner turf course. So we are going to get our share of grass racing on today's program. We get our grass racing on tomorrow's program. And hopefully, if we continue with the weather that we've been having, we'll get more grass racing throughout the month of October before we put it to bed. But we wrap things up with an optional $32,000 claiming event. And Ocean Atlantic is a horse who comes in off of a nice, easy victory going 1 mile on the inner turf course. Saheen, Savachi, and Drexler teamed up to win the late double on yesterday's program. That's the direction I went.
Yeah, I think you're onto a real logical horse. I went to the horse that he defeated last time out, and It's a Stormy Monday, because I think what happened with It's a Stormy Monday was Hernandez went after the front runner in that race, and it kind of hooked up in a real ding-dong battle. And meanwhile, Ocean Atlantique is just licking his chops in behind and goes right on by, right? So I think we might get a bit of a different style. I'm absolutely shocked you didn't pick El Kabong, who was one of your favorite horses to say.
Yeah, but he should have won that last race, and that was for a quarter. Now he's in for 32.
Yeah, the rail was way out on that day. I will give him that. What's the pace going to be like in here? I think we've got definitely It's a Stormy Monday that might show some front end speed. Bordertown, I don't understand the race placement with Bordertown going around 2 turns.
Yeah, and after claiming him for 10, and he got walloped for 10.
And they got Journeyman. He's in a much easier spot here today. If those last couple of races haven't taken too much out of him, he might be able to get back on the beam a little bit as well. So we'll see. Bronco Awards, El Kabong. What's the El Kabong? That means like you're like...
It's a cartoon. You're having a problem, you kabong it.
Yeah, El Kabong it. El Kabong!
All right, there you go. Those are the 11 races that we have in store for you today. We've got picks to pass along your way. We've got some clocker horses to pass along as well. The first things first, though, it's Jeff's top selections for the afternoon. What do you got?
Which have been absolutely terrible so far this week.
Yeah, but that was Thursday and Friday. We always wake up on Saturday and Sunday.
Well, my debut threat's ice cold right now on the board at odds of 11-1. I'm just trying to beat this 4-horse, but that might be a big laugh against me as the 4 is 3-5 right now. But we'll see if we can't hit a grand slam with an 11-1 winner to kick off the day. My drop and pop is Scudiera. A lot of people are going to go towards Trip Aces, and deservedly so. That's the horse to beat, but I'm looking for a bit of a price. My best bet's going to be Jayhawk coming up in race number 10, and my watch lister is It's a Stormy Monday on a beautiful Saturday.
I got Golden Goose to lay the golden egg in race number 3 of the program. Bring the band home, of course. You know, this is a fantastic horse. We've heard that from Mark Cassidy. He's just doing great right now. Ready for Sherrill, I think, is ready to win for Hall of Famer Roger Atfield, and I'll take Haunted Dreams, the good-looking gray, who comes in off of a victory in the Sing Spiel to take this year's International. 26 minutes on the clock. We have some more picks to pass along from upstairs. Bold Town in race 3 is a top selection from Doug McPherson. Galleyhead loses his regular rider.
Yes.
Sophia goes elsewhere. It's Rafael Hernandez who picks up the ride with that one. And Haunted Dream runs with me, looking at this good-looking gray horse to take the International. The clocker horses for the afternoon, we have 2 of them today. The first one comes up in race number 6. It's Hemlo Gold. Now, this is a McRae horse that was claimed, you're going to remember this, Jeff. The first time this horse was claimed for $15,000, I think there were 15 people that went in for the horse, and then a whole mess of them went back for $25,000 as well.
And then it looked like he was going the wrong direction there for a while, but he's back on track now, and he's definitely one that I quite like today. And you know what I like? This horse made it on to the workout board, and not with like a 47 and change work, a slow 51-1 move.
You must have liked the way he looked that day. Of course, Ready for Sherrill for Roger Atfield gets on the list as well. Works September 7th and 49-3 on the training turf course, and that is something that Ernie was able to spot. He says, same thing, that this horse has come back even stronger and is in her top form right now. And Roger, I think, would tend to agree, because he has said to us in the past in interviews, she is getting better the older she gets. So that's a lot of fun. We'll be
just
watching
like the rest of us.
Just like the rest of us, like a fine wine, as everybody says. Well, we have 25 minutes on the clock, 24 minutes, sorry, before race number 1 of 11 on this International Day. Sunny skies, get yourself a beautiful spot in the sunshine and enjoy the racing today from Woodbine.